Chef Raphael. Today we'll be cooking with the cast iron, French cast iron oven from Chasseur. And I will show you step by step how to do this very, very special dish, which is called a chicken chasseur. It's a very, very easy dish to do. It will take you only 20 minutes, put it in the oven for 20 minutes, and 40 minutes, your whole dish will be done. It's something very, very tasty and something it's very easy to put together. So step by step, we're gonna start and I'll show you. So for this recipe, we'll use around 200 grams of chopped carrots, which we're gonna do now. We'll have also 200 grams of celery, chopped celery, and 200 grams of mushrooms, some shallots, some tarragon, and some garlic. So it will be around 2 carrots, 2 medium-sized carrots for get to 200 grams. This is a recipe for 4 people, so we'll be cooking with 4 chicken fillets with the bones in. Everything is gonna need to be diced for that dish. So I chose to use the 5 fillets with the bones because it's way more flavors. When you cook with bones, it takes a bit longer, but with the bone marrow into the bones, it's just add more flavor to it. So that's why specifically I took this today. It lengthens a bit the cooking time, but the flavors will just be a bit stronger. However, you can still do this dish with chicken breast if you wanted to, which will actually half of the time of your dishes. It will take only 20 minutes. So this, you have to remember, this is a very rustic dish. Something from the countryside, so it doesn't need to be really fancy. It's really a dish to bring everyone to the table, right? So that's also why, for me, for the cooking part of it, it's something, the reason why I become a chef. For me, the food, it represents to have people around the table and have a good time. When you cook into cast iron, it's something that is just add the flavors. The flavors just being brought up. You've got, with the Chasseur specifically, they've got something, we've got the ring into the lid. And this, what it does, when you do your dish, it keeps all of the moistures and drip back down to the dish. And this, it gives some moisture to the dish and it keeps it flavorsome. So that's why I absolutely want to use Chasseur. My mum used to have Chasseur at home. My auntie used to cook with Chasseur. She used to do chicken Chasseur. She used to do coq au vin. She used to do rabbits. So this is something, cooking with cast iron, you cannot go wrong. It's just a perfect, the French oven is just the perfect cooking equipment everyone should have at home. You can use on open flame, you can use on induction plates. I used to have my father who used to cook everything onto a wood fire, and they used to have cast iron too from Chasseur. So it's not something you can go wrong with it. It's just the perfect piece of equipment you want to have absolutely into your kitchen. You will never mess up your dish. It's made out of recycled material and is also 100% recyclable. So you cannot go wrong. It's our duty to look after the environment. So I think to have a piece of Chasseur, of cast ironware in your kitchen, it's a must to have. Today I will be using eschalots for these dishes. The only reason why I use eschalots is just because it's a bit fresher. It's a bit sweeter also in taste. We can use onions if we don't have it, if you can't find any eschalots. But today we'll use eschalots. So we're gonna start to do some chop. Just finely chopped, probably around 100 grams of eschalots. It doesn't need to be really, really fine. Remember, it's a rustic dish, so it's not a gastronomic dish. So we just do a little bit of chopping. Just be careful to your fingers, obviously, when you do this. Then after that, we'll do 2 cloves of garlic with this. So as you see, it's pretty roughly chopped, right? And 100 grams will probably do. You don't want to be too oniony, too much onion flavor. But as you know, it's a French dish, so to make it work, we do need onions or eschalots and garlic. Otherwise, it's a bit hard to do a French dish or French casserole without those sort of ingredients. That's what makes it taste flavorsome. So sorry for the people who do not eat onions and garlic. So there we go. We've got pretty much, that should be enough, around 100 grams of eschalots, which roughly give you an estimate around this, right? So that's one sort of big eschalot. Regarding for the garlic, we'll do the same. So it's one way to do the garlic. You just put on your, and you just flat it up, take the clove, and we'll take only 2 cloves of garlic. You go with the heel of your knife, you crush it a bit. If it's really, really fresh, it might give you a bit of resistance, but just be careful to don't cut yourself. So you just chop it. Also, same things roughly. So this, oops. Finely chopped. Same things, like I say, just 2 cloves of garlic should be more than enough for that dish. And that's it. We've got our garlic done. And now we're gonna be ready to start cooking. We've got all of our ingredients, which we're gonna go through. We need 4 chicken thigh fillets on the bones, free range or organic would be better. A knob of butter, 100 grams of eschalots, finely chopped, 2 cloves of garlic, 200 grams of mushrooms. You can use button mushrooms, you can use brown mushrooms. Today we use Swiss brown mushrooms, it's just a bit more flavoursome. We use also 200 grams of chopped celery, 200 grams of chopped carrots, diced carrots, similar to the celery. We'll have also 400 mils of tomato passata. You can use concassed tomato, which is in a can, if you don't have access to passata. I like to use passata because it gives that shininess and I want to have the tomato bits to it, and it's a bit thicker. So I'm after that sort of thickness into the sauce at the end. We also have 300 mils of chicken stock, tarragon. So I use 1 bunch of fresh tarragon, then we're gonna use right at the end. But the little magic we're gonna use today is this, that little bouquet garni. That little bouquet garni is just 2 bay leaves with a bit of fresh thyme. But this will really add a lot of flavors to it, to our dish. And in any French casserole, Gianni will always use the bouquet garni. It's a little magic. Let's start cooking. Now, a knob of butter into medium heat. You want to heat that to sizzling. You don't want it to be too hot, but you can't have it too cold. So now we've got our butter melting. It's gonna get it. Now, we have to be fairly quick. Chicken tossed into the flour. But one thing I like to do is a little pinch of salt in the bottom of the pan. That's going to create a little crust for the skin. It's going to help to really sear the skin. So we go in, we toss our chicken bits into the flour. You don't add too much. What's going to create, it's just going to create the softness in the skin, but it's also going to grab all of the juices when we're going to be cooking with the white wine and the cognac. The skin and the flour on the skin is going to absorb all of those flavors. It's going to give us also a nice golden color to the chicken. When I use the French oven, it just brings me back my memories to my childhood because we used the French oven all the time. And it's a specific smell. When you use the melted butter, the chicken, or whatever meat you want to use, it's something very, very specific to it. It's something magical about that oven. So today, what we do, we just want to sear this on each side, probably 2 minutes on each side. And then after we're gonna remove it and we're gonna add our shallots, our garlic, our mushrooms, saute, and we're gonna bring everything back together into the pot because it's a one pot wonder. So if you see, now you start to have a bit of the chicken, it's getting a bit golden on one side. And that's what we're after. We want to get those little soak into the bottom of the pan. That's what it's gonna create. When you're gonna eat it, that skin of the chicken would just be magical. And once again, you have to do this on sort of medium heat. You don't want it to be too high. You don't want to burn. We don't put the lid when we do this, when we do the chicken, because otherwise we'll lose the crispiness what we're looking for on top of the skin for the start. So now for the moment, we just see our chicken, and then we're gonna add all of the rest of the ingredients and put everything back together and finish this in the oven for 20 minutes. It's that easy. So now we've got our chicken browning. What we want to do is to deglaze. So we take a little bit of cognac. When you put your cognac, you always put on the outside. A little bit of white wine. And you can smell it. You can have those beautiful, beautiful smell coming through. While we're doing this, we always go on to the outside. We never go from the middle. And we want to cook off all of the alcohol. So what we want to keep is just only the flavors for that dish. We take our chicken out. And now we're going to toast all of our vegetables in. We go for 100 grams of eschalots in it. The 2 cloves of garlic. You can smell, the smell is just wonderful. A little bouquet garni. Our mushrooms. Toast everything around. I like to add a little bit more butter to it, because I'm French, so I like my butter. And butter is flavor. So this is our carrots going in. Our celery. And now look. All right, so now we bring our chicken back to our dish. And we're gonna simmer everything together. And when we've got this, we add a little chicken stock. So remember, we put a little bit of flour onto the chicken, which is going to help to thicken up the sauce, right? So we've got our chicken, put our little tomatoes. And now, I don't want to go too much over the top. I'm just gonna toss them around and let them simmer all together. All those flavors will combine. We'll put the lid on and we'll plunge this in the oven for 20 minutes at 160 degrees. I will be using the silicone handle from Chasseur. You have to be careful because the handles will be a bit hot. So today we'll use those silicone handles, very practical for that French oven. After our 20 minutes in the oven, let's check if our chicken is ready. The reveal. Now let's add a final touch, which is a fresh tarragon. Roughly chopped. We don't need to have it too fine. So now what we're going to do, we're going to finish our plating up. And for today, we will have bulgur coming up with it. You can replace this with mashed potato, rice, or otherwise risotto. It's very versatile for that dish. We put our bulgur. Our chicken. Look at this. A little bit of the sauce. Our chicken. And for today, as a grain, we'll use our broccolini because I'm after the crunch and I'm after the color pop. So this has just been steamed and a bit of virgin olive oil and a bit of salt. So this is going to bring and bind everything together in the plate. However, you can use peas or any sort of type of grain you would like. a bit of virgin olive oil to brine everything for it to be served. A bit of fresh herbs. A little bit of cracked pepper. And a touch of salt. Now, your dish is complete. Bon appétit! Chasseur, bien sûr, chasseur, of course.